Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Can't Stop Talking podcast. I tried to record this episode at my desk, and I was like, oh, it's just not the vibes. I need to be cozy in my bed, like I'm on FaceTime with you guys, so I can just say exactly what I want to say, and it just comes out so much more natural. So today's episode is a theme that I saw happening this week, and I've had clients come to me and other people in the industry where, they're seeing what they don't want to see in their business. And when this theme happens, I think you can take this and you can turn it into it working for you. So today's topic is how to use hate comments, refunds, and bad reviews to launch your success. And I know when this happens, it can feel so lonely, especially if you don't have, a community of women or a coach to turn to. And that's why coaching really is insurance for your business, because when, you get hate comments, like something goes viral, or for example, a client asks for a refund, or, someone's saying horrible things about you, whatever the case is, it feels like it's only happening to you. But I'm here in this episode to say that I've been doing this for 4 years, and I've had friends in the industry call me and coaches, and it's happened to me and happened to clients of this is what happens when you're building a business, right? And I always think when these things happen, it's like, what would the 7-figure version of me do? What would the millionaire who's making millions of dollars a year in my business, because that's going to be me one day, how would they feel? And they would just feel like this is a normal part of business, that this is the ups and downs, right? That this happens with success and, with clients and making money. And this is what having a business is. However, I do want to say as a disclaimer that I have really used my beliefs to make it so that this minimally happens in my life. And so we will go over today basically how to create beliefs that make it so, online is a safe place as much as it can be. And then we're also going to, go over what to do when this happens so that you can use this as a learning situation to catapult your success. So first, I want to say that I really have used my belief system in order to, not have this happen as much, right? And so I've had one refund request in my whole 4 years, and this was because they had mental health issues. I've actually had two, but the second person they just had cold feet and they ended up going ahead with the program. I'm always honest with you guys, but I really use my beliefs as like, one, it's the way that I attract clients. So I attract clients through they come to me. And so I feel like because of that process, the person is more ready and they're excited and they do it on their own time. So they know that it wasn't me convincing them, it was them coming to me. So that's one reason for less refunds. But I've also just decided that people love being in my world. People want to pay me, right? People want to, get coached by me and they love the results, and all my clients are success stories. So you guys know that I'm constantly shifting my belief system. I've always also decided that my Instagram is a safe place and that, my Instagram is amazing and I have the best community and everyone's always happy and loving and unreal, right? And so I've really shaped my belief system because I was really scared of being seen. I was really scared of, success, and I was scared of gaining followers because I knew that could come with hate. And so instead of deciding that that was the truth, I decided that, you know what, I'm going to grow, but my audience is going to be amazing and loving and incredible and just a safe space. And they want to work with me and they want to be there. And they just love everything about, my community. And I say things like they hang off my every word and stuff like that. And I have found that I've really, over the years, minimally had stuff happen, but I have had things happen, and this is how I've dealt with it. So now I'm at a point in business where things usually just like melt right off me, right? But when I've had hate comments, and I had a client who came to me this week and one of her posts went viral and she was getting a lot of hate comments and she was like, what do I do, right? And the first thing she said is she was like, I feel like bad turning off the comments because I feel like, that means making it mean something about me. And I'm like, one, this is your house. Your Instagram is like your house, right? You would not let someone into your house if they were disrespecting you. And this client is actually a, dating coach. And I was like, if I came to you and I was like, this man, I'm talking to a man and he's texting me horrible things, what would you tell me to do? She was like, I would tell you to, block him and put up your boundaries. And I'm like, exactly, right? You are allowed to block hate comments. You're allowed to shut off the comments. You're allowed to do whatever you need to do to live your happiest, healthiest, and wealthiest life. That is amazing. And that is you putting up your boundaries. And you should do whatever you need to do to feel comfortable online. I've, seen my guy friends on my Instagram and I've just picked them up and I've blocked them, and I've had hate comments and I've blocked that person and I've, deleted the comment. I've done everything, right? Because instead of letting it get to me, I'm like, let me just get this out of my energy. Like, you're not supposed to be in my energy field. Get out of here. What are you doing here? And so whatever you need to do, if you need to block your whole family, if you need to, block all your friends, if you need to block any comment, anything, like, that is your right, right? The other thing I want you to know is that when you are so sure on who the F you are, nothing any stranger can say about you can get to you. When you know that you are incredible, when you know what you meant, because half the time, majority of the time online, your words can get misconstrued and people decide the meaning that you're saying. And I know when you put up a video, what you are meaning to say and what people decide they're meaning. As long as you remember, this is why I put this video up. This is who I'm helping. Then no one else's words can mean anything about you. My client messaged me like 2 months ago and she was like, oh my gosh, there's someone claiming that we are a part of an MLM. You are the leader of the MLM and I am under you. And my client was really upset and I was just laughing. And I said to her, I was like, this does not bother me at all. Like, this comment, I just think it's so funny because, one, corporate America is an MLM, right? You can't make more money than your freaking boss. And we've just been brainwashed into thinking that it's not. But the other thing is, when they said that about me and they said that like I was the leader of the MLM, the first thing I think of now isn't like, oh my gosh, I don't want someone to think that. I'm like, all right, if I'm in an MLM, but I have been able to, during my journey, help my client go from not being able to get her kid Christmas presents to getting him everything he's ever wanted, I wouldn't take that back for the world. You can call me an MLM all you want. You could say whatever you want, right? When I think about the fact that I helped my client go from $80,000 in debt, losing her goddamn house, to now a 6-figure plus business owner, you can say whatever you want about me because I'm not going to stop helping the people who need me. I'm not going to stop because someone has an opinion about what I'm doing, right? I have a purpose and I need this purpose to be shared. I don't care what you have to say about me. I'm getting this out. Everyone at every level this happens to. I just saw some stuff on TikTok about like Gary V, or not Gary V, who is the monk? I'm going to have to think about this, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Jay Shetty. I love him so much. And Jay Shetty, and they were saying like he's lied about how long he's been a monk for. And someone went on TikTok and said this, and the comments were like, okay, I don't care though. He changed my effing life. Like, I've listened to him talk for 5 minutes and some of his words are so powerful that it changed my life. And what happens is we usually look at the hate comments or the client who's asking for a refund or the person who's giving you a bad review. We hone in on those hate comments more than we would ever hone in on the incredible things and the people that we're helping, right? And I remember so clearly in college that one time I got the best score on a test, like out of my whole college. Like, people were shocked and I was happy for maybe like 2 days. And then the next time I failed a test. And I thought about that failure for like 2 months. And I realize that in life, we focus on the negative so much more than the goddamn positive. We give it so much more weight. And there's an incredible story about Gabby Bernstein. And basically, she like found, I think it was like a Facebook group of all these, hate comments about her and shitting on her. And she was just so upset. And her husband said to her, have you looked at your Instagram inbox that's filled with love and people who have, said that you've changed their life and got them sober and like taught them how to manifest? And she was like, I didn't even know where my Instagram inbox was. When you focus on the people who are trying to tear you down, you forget about the people who you have changed their goddamn lives. If you stopped showing up tomorrow, people would notice. People would be upset. I want you to think, I said this to my client today. I want you to think about if you got all these hate comments or a refund or a bad review and you stopped your business, picture yourself on your deathbed in your 90s thinking about how you listened to that hate comment and you could have helped so many people. You could have helped so many people, but you let some asshole online who hates their own goddamn life to tear yours down. I'm not letting you do that. Absolutely not. Not in my world. Like, that's what I need you guys to know, that these people aren't happy. And I feel really bad for them, because if you're sitting behind a screen and you're typing cruel things out to someone you don't know, there is something wrong in your life. No one who is happy, wealthy, or healthy is doing that. They're just not. They don't have the time for that. They would never. And so I want you to remember, when you know who you are, nothing anyone can say about you is going to change your view. For real. And here's the thing. This is happening to everyone. I know so many people, like I said, in the industry, crazy things that have happened to them. Every coach I've had has told me about, a situation that they've had with a client. It's just that they're not bringing it to light. And so this isn't just happening to you, right? I want you to know that you are not alone in this. And how I've turned these situations into gold every time, again and again, is that I realized when I try and come at a situation, even in my life, I've had points where my friends have turned on me, or, in my business or with guys that I've dated, right? What I find time and time again is when I try and tell them like, no, this is who I am. Like those are all lies about me. And I try and like say with my words, right? Think about it in dating, when someone's trying to break up with you and you're like, this is, the dumbest thing ever. Like, I'm amazing. You'll see, like, yada, yada. And you're trying to convince this person. It never works. And it's okay if you've done that, because I've done that a million times. But what actually works in these situations is when you say, I know who the F I am. You don't have to tell them. And instead, you pull your energy back from the hate comments. You pull your energy back from that person. You pull that energy back from the lies that are being said about you. And you say, I know who I am, and everything's going to come to light. And I always say this, karma is my best friend. I feel like Taylor Swift, like in that time with Taylor Swift, when all those things were happening, she didn't say anything. She kept her mouth shut, and with all the Kanye and Kim stuff, and she knew who she was. And because of that, all the truth came to light. And I really believe that everything in my life, when I've closed my mouth and instead went inward and said, I know who I am, those situations solve themselves. My new affirmation is, all my problems solve themselves. And oh my God, it's been working incredibly. But when you know who you are, you don't have to tell anyone. You don't. You say, I know who I am. I know this is going to come to light. And that's what manifests for you. It happens to me time and time again. And the other thing is, you guys know I'm obsessed with Amanda Francis, and she talks about the fact that when you are able to give love to a situation with whoever wronged you, when you're finally able to that point to get it all out. And you could see, this person's hurting and that's why they are doing this to me. And you can start giving love to the situation, and you can really get to a point when you're like actually feeling like you're sending out love to the person. It is insane what happens. I've had crazy things happen with clients when I've instead validated their feelings and came with love, and they've came back around from being upset with the situation to respecting me, right? I've had this happen with friends in my life. But when you pull back your energy and instead change the situation in your mind to give love, that's what comes right back to you. Love and gratitude. That's what you need to get into. So this podcast isn't just about, the hate comments you're getting and the refunds, but it's also like online when you see, people are posting spicy posts. I had a client once, she's like, how do you not make these spicy posts mean something about you? One time there was a post that was like, if you say happy Monday on all your posts or like on all your stories, then I don't know, it said something rude. And she was like, how do you not make it mean something when it feels like it's directed completely at you? One, I didn't stop writing happy Monday or happy Tuesday on my Instagram stories because I love that about myself. But two, I was like, they're using that as a marketing tip. When you know who you are and I know my strategies work. So if someone else is shitting on the strategies I use, I don't listen to that post. I don't change my mind. Someone's shitting on my personality. I saw something today that was like, people pleasers don't make money. And it's like, what? Like, I don't agree with that, and that's okay. And I love that they posted that, actually. I'm like obsessed that they posted that because that's their truth, but I don't have to make that mean mine at all. And once you realize that everyone's just trying to market to you, and once you know who the hell you are, you're not going to let what anyone says about you mean anything. Stop making other people's opinions mean something about you. You get to decide. You get to decide that your Instagram is a happy place and your community is amazing and you can grow with love. And you get to decide that clients want to be in your programs, and you get to decide the meaning of everything in your business. And when things aren't going your way, you also get to decide that I'm getting those hate comments because I'm supposed to level up. I'm getting those hate comments because the $1 million version of me would get those comments and keep posting. I'm getting I'm getting a refund because the $1 million version of me will probably get refunds and I'm going to have to know how to deal with it, but I'm not going to care. Is that $1 million version of you going to care? Hell freaking no, they're not, right? And so this is happening for you. The situation isn't happening to you. God puts this situation. I never say the word God, so that was crazy. But the universe, whatever you believe in, the universe puts these situations to see how you're going to handle it because it's a test. It's saying, all right, you want to grow, you want to be successful, you want to have all these followers, you want to have all these clients, then can you deal with this, right? I remember my first product ever, it was a $27 product. I wanted like 200 people in, and I got, it was like 30 or 50 people, I forget. And I was like upset with that number, which is crazy. I was crazy. When you're new, you know how to feel. And I was like, why did this happen? And then I got someone who disputed the payment. They said like they didn't mean to buy it. And I thought it was the end of the world. And then I realized the universe only gave me 30 to 50 clients because I couldn't even deal with one dispute, right? Like after that, I was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful, right? The universe will give you what you can handle, and they'll see what you can handle before they give you more, so that you're not just, those business owners who built their business to $1 million and then burned it to the ground because they couldn't deal with what was happening in their reality. I'd rather you guys move slow and work through these things and get to your next level instead of that happening to you. And so the last thing I want to say is it's all about how you deal with this. I've had so many things happen to clients, and I had one client who, she had a meal prepping business and she got a bad review, and she was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm so upset. And I was like, give them, instead of like, letting them know why this happened and why, they didn't like the service, what you should do instead is give them amazing service back, right? So I am so sorry that, you didn't like the service that was given. Let me refund you, or let me give you, half off the next time you come and buy. Because I don't know about you guys, but there has been times that I've been shopping in real life and I've had, they send me the wrong thing in the mail, or, I have had a really bad experience with a sales associate and I'm really upset with this brand. But then how they act, the service that they give me when I'm upset with them is what determines whether or not I'm going to come back. Right. And so 10 times out of 10 times, 9 times out of 10, if you give incredible customer service back to me, I'm coming back to your brand. I'm coming back to your product. One time I was shopping at this boutique when I was younger, and they had like teens working, and the teens were so rude and made me hang up all my own stuff back onto the hangers. It was just not a good situation. So I called the boss and I was like, hey, like your the people who are working there, I can't think today, were really rude to me. And the boss was like, thank you so much for letting me know. I'm giving you a $50 gift card to come back here. And I continued to come back there. And so I want you to know that even if something happens in your reality, that's okay. This is a chance for you to give good customer service. This is a chance for you to put up your boundaries and get rid of those comments. This is a chance for you to give love to this situation and see that, this is all working in your favor as long as you work it and change your belief system. And so I want you to remember don't let other people's opinions dim your light, right? The people that need you to keep showing up and saying exactly what you're saying. Say your values, take your stances. There's people who need you. You are changing so many lives. I want you to be at your deathbed at 90 years old being like, I showed up as my most authentic self, and look at all the goddamn people I helped. Those are who I want you to put your love and energy in towards. So I love you so much. As always, if this episode resonated, please message me. I love hearing from you guys. And the one thing that my client said is, thank God that I have this community. She is in DBA. And she was like, I don't know what I would have done without this. And so if you're looking for a community of badass women with me coaching you, 6 months of group coaching and a course, and you're looking to scale your business to 5 to 10K months, this is the course for you. DM me, DBA, and I'd love to chat. So I love you so much. And just know that this is all working in your favor.